Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to easily beat a raid, because raids in Minecraft can be very hard to defeat. So this is a few tips on how to easily defeat one. Okay, so the first tip is that you can trap ravagers in boats like this. So if you're able to somehow just lure one over simply, you can easily trap one in a boat, and that will make you not have to deal with them. And then you can just like bow them or crossbow them or whatever from far away to easily take them out. Get out of the way. To easily take them out just like this and eventually kill them. And the Ravenger's dead. Another tip on how to easily defeat a raid is if you get a bell and put it down and ring it, when you can't find those raiders, it should show up somewhere. So as you can see, someone's getting attracted to that. And if you use the bell, it should just kind of reveal all the raiders if you wait a little while. So yeah. My third tip is that if it's kind of early game into the raid, have a farm somewhere near, so you can always have a never-ending source of food, basically. So like, if I'm running low on food, and I can just take the wheat from there as I had, and then I have some more food. So yeah, it's very easy to set up, and just set up a miniature farm right next to your raid battle station. And this brings us on to the fourth tip, which is that it's far easier to fight a raid. I'm not doing it this time because these are all my friend's dogs, but it's far easier to fight a raid if you use some kind of dog. So if you were to get a bunch of raiders in an area and you hit them all once, then the dogs can easily defeat the raiders for you without you having to get too near any of them. But yeah, Another tip is that the two most important things in your entire arsenal of weapons and stuff when fighting a raid are the bow. So make sure you have a very powerful one. I don't really, but make sure you do have a powerful bow so that you can take them out from range, especially for things like evokers and Johnnies, so you don't need to get close to. And the most important thing is a shield. So I'm using a small shield pack, but you probably won't be. But I recommend definitely using a small shield pack. And the shield has to be like, that's your most important thing, because if you come up against any raiders, you can just quickly crouch or right click if you're on Java, and then they can't beat you basically. So yeah, we gotta get back to finding these raiders because they're just nowhere. Another tip is to protect the villagers as well as actual possible, because if the villagers die, you lose the raid. You probably already know that, but you really want to just protect the villagers. So what I recommend doing is every few seconds, or not few seconds, every like half a minute or something, just come back, check on the villagers, make sure there's no raiders around there. Now the biggest problem for this is Vex, because they can travel through builds. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that all evokers stay as far away from your villagers as possible. You can do this by doing simple things, just such as like, I don't know, bowing the evokers before they can get close. Things like that to keep the evokers at a far range. All the other mobs you can keep out with walls. But yeah. What you're going to do is you're going to just take one crossbow and put it here, and take the other crossbow and put it here. And what that'll do is it'll get you combining the two, and it'll be higher durability. The only time I don't recommend doing that is when you're in my situation here, where you have an enchanted one that actually has quite good enchantments. Because the thing is, if you have one, then that'll get rid of the enchantments. So you never want to do that if you have an enchanted one. But if you have a few non-enchanted ones, you're going to want to combine them just to get that extra durability and free up a few inventory slots. Something I definitely recommend doing, but it isn't necessary, is sleeping the nights when you're fighting a raid. Because if you don't sleep the nights, then what's going to happen is you're going to be overwhelmed by things like zombies, skeletons, along with the raiders. So you're going to always want to fight it during just daytime. One thing I definitely don't think you should do is fight a raid in the jungle, because they are absolutely impossible to find any of the villagers because of how dense it is. I definitely recommend doing this in like a plains, sunflower plains kind of biome. But we have to do it in the jungle, so yeah. We're kind of stuck with this now, unfortunately. Alright, that's a spider. See, there's another problem. You might mistake things for other things. That's why you should always sleep nights. So I think that the most dangerous is probably not even Ravagers, it's probably Evokers, because there's not as much strats against them. Ravagers are also pretty bad, but they're not terrible like Evokers. The Johnny Vindicator things, they're terrible as well. You don't really need to come up against, like, anything else shouldn't really kill you. You should be okay against anything else, so just only really worry about evokers. And I think Vindicators. Ravagers can be scary, but they're usually quite easy to combat, so yeah. So here's an example of using the dogs. So see how we've got like a ton of dogs over here? Yeah, so Shane over here has his little army of dogs. And if we were to find a pillager now, so if we were to find just a single pillager, or if you're wondering about the tools I recommend going into this with, I'd say you kind of need a diamond sword, a bow with around 30 arrows. Okay, so here's a witch. Another tip is that you can bow a witch from further than they can throw potions. So if you really want to stay really safe against a witch, then I didn't have much time to, but if you want to stay very safe against a witch, I recommend bowing them from quite far away, because you can bow them while they can't throw potions over you, which can be very helpful to avoid poison and stuff. Alright, so Shane was killed by a ravager. See, here's what I mean. The dogs are destroying this guy now. Shane died, so they're not anymore, but the dogs destroyed the mob on top of the ravager anyway. Alright, so we killed him, but the dogs helped get the mob off his back, so that's some proof that the thing actually does work with the dogs. I recommend putting the bell near your villagers and then just ringing it whenever you need to. I'm not 100% sure if it works on Bedrock, but I'm fairly sure it does, because the mobs always seem to kind of come after you after that. But on Java, it shows up where the pillagers actually are. I'm not playing Java here because this is my realm on Bedrock, but still, it does work on Java. Now, the most important thing to have is probably a decent crossbow, but you also want a sword. I recommend fire aspect so you can deal damage to things like vexes and stuff over time. But now we're just trying to find the last few mobs for this wave. And also, you should get quite a few totems. If you're on hard difficulty, I think there's something like 8 waves. So be aware of that. 7 waves, 8 waves. Okay, we've just found another totem somehow. And also remember, keep combining all your tools. That's not the tool I meant to combine. Combine all your tools so you can keep them at high enough durability. Just like that. And then there's a slightly better axe. Just do that kind of thing. I mean, this probably isn't worth it, but just for an example, keep combining just like that. And as you can see, we're just going to keep doing the same kind of thing. Find the raiders, kill them, use a bow on the witches and evokers. Don't get too close to them unless it's something like a ravager. Use your shield for ravagers. Stuff like that. You're just going to keep rinsing and repeating until all the waves are dead. And yeah, there's a few more tricks, so make sure to stay till the end to know all of them. I also recommend having a safe spot. So if you were to like dig down and just have a spot where you can always hide, it can be very helpful. So if I was to get this hole and just make a little safe spot into it to say ravagers can't get into, so just go like this, and then maybe put like an iron door on it. Put in this, put an iron door there. You can block it up if you really want to, and then you've just got a little safe spot so that if you're ever in kind of a big danger to the raiders, just jump into your safe spot and you'll be perfectly fine. Except for things like evokers. One kind of helpful tip is that if you're having trouble finding raiders, I recommend going until the raid symbol at the top of your screen fades away. So if I'm here, it's still there, but once I go all the way over here, see, it fades away. So that means that none of the raiders can really be over here. And then as soon as it comes up, so they all have to be kind of on this side of the border, so that can be helpful. Apparently they're over by Junkiemu here. Okay, so since he said that they're over here, they have to be somewhere around. Oh yeah, so here we are. So I see they can't even escape, so we can just bow them over and over again. Alright, so Shane just had the worst idea of all time, probably. I'm probably about to die here as well. Uh-oh. Alright, so that was a very close one. And now people are stealing my emeralds. God damn. I recommend having friendly fire off. And there we go. We have won the raid. We are victorious. And you can be just like this. Win every raid you want. Do it every single time. As long as you follow the tips in these videos, it should be very easy to finish. And yeah, we have Hero of the Village. We've got a bunch of loot. As you can see, all the totems. I've got all the saddles. all the armor, all the emeralds, everything. And we're stacked out now. We have everything we need to carry on in our world just because of that raid. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Hopefully this helped you fight your own raid. Hopefully you won it. And yeah, see you in the next video. Subscribe. Bye.